Hi there, and welcome to the Cult of Cinema. My name is Aaron, and we continue our Vinegar Cinder Month with the top 20 list of top 20 titles that I think you should really at least consider putting into that basket and maybe purchasing at the upcoming sale. We're going to go through 20 titles here altogether. One thing I want to do is I put some perimeters for myself. I didn't put in any box sets. I didn't put any of like the super new limited edition stuff. I don't think I did anyway, because those will come in another video. But right now we're focusing on 20 Vinegar Syndrome titles that may bypass you, that I'm hoping I can change your mind on at least some of them. Or maybe I'll hit on you're going in for the first time or you're going back again and you say, okay, well, I like this type of title, but I'm not quite sure another one that'll kind of go with it. So we're starting off with a thriller, actually, with Angel, starring Donna Wilkes. And this is a really good film. It's not what it seems like at first. It seems like it's going to be this like sexploitation film. Actually, it's a thriller with kind of a heavy, kind of like a drama, kind of a character study based drama in there. And don't let that like turn you away. This is a really well acted film. The cast in this movie is amazing. If you have never seen it before, I strongly recommend it to check it out. It's not a mystery. You don't have to guess who the killer is in this one. The killer is almost silently wordless through almost the entirety of the film, and he's a pretty smart killer. He's a killer along the lines of what you would see in like in the Dirty Harry films and that type of thing. Like say like when Andrew Robinson played his style killer, not in the exact same style, but in this kind of this menacing killer that is dangerous and could very easily take out the main character. You know, if she wasn't named the main character in movies like this, you know that at least somebody that you like is going to unfortunately die, and this is a really well done film. There are two other Angel films, by the way, now if you want to collect them. Actually, there's three, but the Angel 4 was done as a pilot for I think for Showtime or something like that, but it was never actually made into a series. There's lots of nudity, but it's not in the Vinegar Syndrome one, because he did the three films, 1, 2, and 3, the original three. There's a different person playing Angel in all three of the films. But right now we're looking at Donna Wilkes one, and it's really good. There's some cool features on here as well. If you've never seen Angel, go in blind. It's a great film. You will thank me for it. Trust me, the killer in this is really, really extraordinary. And the cast all around are like, mwah, chef's kiss. Next up is The Uninvited by Graydon Clark. Graydon Clark was an actor turned director. If you've seen any of the Al Amson films, for instance, he was in a couple of those, including Dracula versus Frankenstein, where he played sort of a romantic secondary lead. So Graydon Clark knew a lot of people in the industry. So when it came time for Graydon Clark to make a film, he casted those films extremely well, and he got a bunch of people, including like Clu Gallagher and George Kennedy in this particular film, which you got to admit that's a pretty cool get. It's a film about a killer cat of sorts, a killer creature. We'll go with a killer creature, because man, when you see this movie, it sticks with you. It's the creature effects are, I'm going to be honest with you, they're not that great. The creature effects are not that great at all, but in all honesty, it doesn't matter, because this is fun. This is cheesy. You got to see this movie. You got to see this movie at least once, but I recommend owning it, because The Uninvited is one of the better killer monster flicks on a boat type of films that you're going to see. Trust me with this one. This is a good one. And the cover is actually fantastic. The first, and probably I think the only DVD on here, and this is a Ciro Santiago film. So Ciro Santiago is the director that I'm very familiar with, and this is The Mothers. So The Mothers are a bunch of female pirates, kid you not, more modern at the time female pirates that go on a journey to save one of the pirates' sisters, who has been caught in a camp, in this prison camp, with these corrupt people, and there's like a rival gang that are also trying to stop the mothers as well. So you got like the Filipino style women in prison film. You got the action. You have the the attractive girls and the really like kind of sleazy, slimy like bad guys. You also have along with that like this other gang, a ton of action, a lot of fun, and you know what? Not a moment to be bored. The Mothers is a fantastic film to check out, and it's a really good place to start with Serious Santiago. There's other Serious Santiago films out there, and at another time, or maybe in a live video, if you've watched this one, be sure to ask me, and I'll give you more Serious Santiago recommendations, because he's really fun to check out. Next up is The Incubus. This is one of my favorite films that Vinegar Cinema ever put out, bar none. This is a great film. It's based on the book, although if you have read the book, The Incubus, don't think that you've figured it out, because they do change who the Incubus is in this one, because this one is a mystery. This has a fantastic cast in it. It is all around just an incredible movie. Fantastic cast. John Cassavetes is in this one, and it has a very John Cassavetes show. And this is not a John Cassavetes film. He's not directing it, but John Cassavetes has really put himself in this. We got John Arland in this one as well. An amazing, stunning cast in the film. And if you've ever seen a film like this before, you haven't seen this, you got to see this one. Kira Keen's in this one, Canadian actor Kira Keen. So please check this out. I don't want to give too much away. There's some great cinematography in this film, and some incredible choices, and some kind of bold choices that you do with not with just with the film, but with the cinema and with some of the language itself, because you can tell it's mentioned in the special features. John Cassavetes rewrote a lot of his lines. He just didn't like what was on the page. And you can tell because it does have a Cassavetes feel to it. And if you're a Cassavetes fan, I know this is not a Cassavetes, this is not a Gina Rowland film, but it's a really good film. And I think John Cassavetes added to the uniqueness of this film. Next up is A Collar. Speaking of unique films, Malcolm McDowell and Madeline Smith play basically almost the only two characters in the film. We get a couple other secondary characters, but these are the two main characters that we follow throughout the entirety of this film. It is enigmatic, it is strange, it is unusual. It is an acting tour de force by two actors that will draw you in, make you wonder what the hell is going on, even after you finally find out what's going on. It's a great one. Go into this one blind. Going into this one with any type of knowledge at all, especially knowledge of the ending, will damper it for you. It does have rewatchability factor, definitely. If just watching Malcolm McDowell and Madeline Smith kind of play off each other is incredible. But the less you know going into this one, the better it is. The Collar is a strong recommendation for me, and it's definitely, much like the Incubus, Call to Cinema approved. Sudden Fury, a Canucksploitation film, and one of the best Canucksploitation films. While we're still waiting to get movies like The Clown Murders and The Rowdy Man to come out, we do have Sudden Fury. It is a really, really good film. It's a suspenseful film. It's a film that will wreck you a bit, but in all the right good ways, not too much. Basically, this is another one where it's a limited cast, but they do a lot with the cast that they have. We have a husband and a wife that are going on a trip. He's bringing her up somewhere he says to show her something kind of nice and romantic. What turns out to be is he has another business proposition for her. She's been pulling the purse strings. She pretty much says, I've had enough of your failed business propositions. It's not going to work. We're not going to do this. Something happens. A stranger comes along and gets caught up in the middle, and we have basically a Alfred Hitchcock style Wrong Man thing, but with an excellent chase. An incredibly well done, well shot, well executed film. Definitely well written, and it's I'm from Canada, so I've watched a lot of Canadian films. So when you watch Canucksploitation, if this is your first one, you go in. There's a certain feel and a certain difference to it. Canada's films, the Canucksploitation, didn't kind of mirror what was in the States as much as it would mirror something that was done in Europe, for instance. They have more of a European feel to them in the way that they go, and in the way that they move, the pace along, and in some of the unique and almost nihilistic ways that the films work out. So Sudden Fury, definitely check this one out. It is an incredibly amazing film, and trust me, eventually you're going to have this in your collection. I'm not going to be able to tell you. You're going to hear from other people. It's a word of mouth. It goes around. It's odd, right? But then again, great stuff. Spookies. Look at that cover. Okay, so Spookies is an incredibly bad fun film. So you've seen Trolls 2, you've seen movies like Nail Gun Massacre. This is bad, but in a different way. It's bad and it's fun. It's bad because it was a film that was made by two different directors with two very uniquely different views. Trust me, you're going to want to see the documentary on this. Oh, by the way, did I tell you that there are two documentaries on this one? And not just short documentaries. They're like 15-minute or even 50-minute talking head documentaries. No, these are two full feature-length documentaries. You get a documentary on the making of the movie Spookies, which, trust me, is just as fascinating, probably more fascinating than the film itself. Though the film is a lot of fun too, so don't rule that out. They'll also get a documentary on Vipco. Vipco was a company that was out kind of promoting the video nasty stuff in the UK back in the day. Both these Spookies is a lot of fun to watch. There's some great features on here, but those two documentaries alone are worth grabbing this one for. Raw Force. Anybody that's ever bought a Vinegar Syndrome movie knows that Raw Force encompasses what is early Vinegar Syndrome. It is a crazy film with action and kind of zombies and sexy girls and karate clubs. It's everything. Basically, it's the type of movie where everything is thrown at the wall to see what will stick. Surprisingly, a lot of this sticks. Raw Force is a fantastically fun film, and it definitely harkens to the early years of Vinegar Syndrome, when it was just like this was the norm of what you would get, and that's not a bad thing. And they still do a lot of titles like this. The upcoming Miami Connection 4K is another fantastic release I'm looking forward to. Psycho Cop Returns. You know, in Scream 2, when they say sequels are by definition inferior copies of the film that preceded it, Psycho Cop Returns is proof positive that is not true. Psycho Cop was a movie that was okay. Psycho Cop Returns is a much, much, much better film. I do want to own the first Psycho Cop. It's okay. It's a fun little watch, but this one here definitely amps up the humor in this one, and it has a unique take on it. Trust me, just look and see who directed. I'm not going to tell you, but look and see who the director of this movie is. I think you'll be surprised. I'll give you a hint. AR or his initials, and it's a great film. Prey. This is one of two Norman J. Warren films you're going to see on this here. This one is extremely well done, and it's different than you would think would be. So basically, it's a lesbian couple that take in or a bisexual couple. Anyway, they take in this mysterious guy who turns out to have some secrets. He's an alien, but we don't know exactly what his purpose is or what exactly is going on, and we casually find out. There's some great character work and some great kind of back and forth with the actors in this one here. I thought they did a really good job, and I actually really like the way that that this one plays out. Prey is a really good film, and it's definitely one that you want to have in your collection. It's definitely one of the stronger Norman J. Warren films, though it's not the only one that's going to be on the list. Pets. Okay, here's one that's not for everybody, but this is a personal favorite of mine. Pets is one that I saw back in the day because, well, basically, my mom owned a convenience store, and we got a bunch of VHS tapes in. None of them had their boxes. They're all because we bought from this. Basically, this guy had a VHS collection in his basement. It flooded, but the tapes were saved, but the cases weren't. So I had to go through every one of them there, find out what the movie was called, get a synopsis for the film, put a sticker on back onto it so we could actually see, because most of them had stickers kind of torn off or kind of soaked off, basically. One of those movies was Pets. Pets is a really uniquely different, odd film. I don't think there's anything out there quite like it, and I don't really know the best way to describe it without giving away too much. Pets is a journey that I think is best discovered blind. A lot of titles like this, there are certain films that I want to say, okay, well, you got this one, it's a mystery, this is a thriller, this type of thing. Pets is an experience. And don't take that as a bad thing. Pets, for me, is a really, really cool title. There are some very strange parts in this film. Some very strange parts. And check the trailer if you want to. But this is one that I went into. Obviously, I went into blind because I didn't know what was on the tape. So when this one came out, I was extremely excited because I'd watched it many times over the years. And yeah, that's great. Night Train to Terror was the first Vinegar Syndrome title I ever bought. I had the old, I'm not sure if it was on, maybe it was on a really old Mill Creek release that I had. When it had like 20 to 50 movie, on there. So this is an anthology film. Sort of. There is no really kind of big wraparound here. There is, I guess, there's the coolest of all wraparounds. There is a pop band on a train that are singing the most earwormy song that's going to suck in your head. Just trust me, it's going to suck in your head. That you're ever going to hear. What you're also going to get out of this is God and Satan sitting when the car's on the train, talking about like who should get the souls in these stories. And we will get 3 stories. They will be extremely strange, weird, and sometimes almost incomprehensible. And that's because there were 3 films that were cut down that were actual feature-length films that were put into this to make this anthology, Night Train to Terror. Oh, and by the way, if that enigmatic, telling of the thing isn't enough to get you, Richard Mall is in 2 of these. Look him up. He was in House. He was in Night Court. And one of the 3 stories here has this complete film on the release. So you're getting 2 films for the price of 1, and trust me, you want to watch that other film because it's going to bring completely different context to the film to the story. It's the middle story. I think it's Greta that you're going to watch, and it's going to make you wish that actress had done more because there's something enigmatically. She has this kind of sense about her. She has an it factor, and that where you were kind of curious to see more. Not that she's not a stunning actress or anything. It's just there's something about her that makes you want to watch her, and it makes Greta make a lot more sense, and it puts a lot more context to it as well. So definitely don't just if you think okay I wasn't quite sure on the middle story, it's kind of weird. Still watch Greta because trust me you'll learn to have a better appreciation for it. Malibu High. This looks like it's a Porky's film. It looks like it's one of those here kind of early 70s sexploitation films. It's kind of not. Basically, we have a girl that is attracted to this guy, and ends up kind of seducing a teacher to get good grades. It goes down a spirally, twisty road, which has murder by contract, revenge, a bunch of insanely dark turns that you would not expect from a film that has this cover. But it is a really good, solid film, and one that I definitely recommend. Graduation Day. I want to give you a slasher. I want to give you like a solid slasher. Graduation Day is definitely a seriously solid slasher. Pretty sure this limited edition slipcover is still available during the sale as well. And I don't have this snazzy slipcover, but I do have this film in my collection, and I strongly recommend it. It's a really good movie. It's your standard slasher film. It's a mystery. At the beginning of the film, there is a girl that's a runner, and she kind of pushed herself. I guess she's pushed herself or too far, and she dies on the track. A year later, I think it's a year later, all the people that surrounding the track stuff, they're mysteriously getting killed off, and just as her big sister has come back into town. Is it her big sister getting revenge for her for her sister that's passed away? Is it the mysterious coach? Is it somebody else that you wouldn't even think about? Watch it and find out. It's a really cool slasher, and it's definitely one of the better, lesser known slashers out there. Demon Wind. Well, 3 words. Kung Fu Magician. Demon Wind is a fun film. This is a kind of a low budgeter, much like a kind of like Evil Dead. If they didn't have the budget they had for Evil Dead. I'm not even joking. And it probably actually had a bigger budget than Evil Dead. It's an odd film, but it is really fun. Basically, it's about this guy that goes up to a cabin with some of his friends, and they end up getting stuck in the cabin with kind of like well, demons outside. I don't want to tell you anything else. I kind of do, but I kind of don't. Demon Wind, just 100% picked up. By the way, when this initially came out, this had one of the infamous and really cool Vinegar Syndrome lenticular covers, because they used to do that thing. All right, The Corruption Chris Miller is a giallo of sorts. It definitely is different than your regular giallo. You're not going to see a lot of murders in this movie. You will get a really creepy scene at the beginning of the film. You get a great play between the lead actors in this one here. And this one definitely is a bit of a mystery. But it's more than that. It's kind of more than some of its parts, really. The mystery is not the key element in this one here. It's the play between the kind of the stepmom and the daughter, and the guy, potential killer, that's caught in between. Definitely check this one out, because this is one of those. When I say there's like, we've looked at films here that have been kind of fun and cheesy and act like Raw Force or Pets, this is a good film that belongs in your collection. Much like, it's not on my list, but much like Patty Hearst by Paul Schrader is a good film. This is a good film, and it goes beyond the giallo like template that you would normally see. So you're not looking at a forgotten giallo thing right here. You're not looking at like, or even like kind of the sleazer type of Sister Ursula type thing, which I do love, by the way. But this is a very different, more serious, better kind of better written giallo. Candy Snatchers is one of the best character films that I've ever watched in my life, and it is so. It's got some great actors. It is dark. These are not likable people in this film. Imagine if Seinfeld was really dark without the humor. But you think that maybe that's, and maybe it will. Like for some people, the characters may just be too unlikable and too dark. But oh my God, is this a journey? It takes you on an amazing journey. Basically, what happens here is we have three people that get together to kidnap this young teenage girl, so that her father-in-law, who works at a jewelry store, will basically kind of be an inside man and rob the store for them. So what happens when he says no? Things start to spiral from there, and watch it. Bloody New Year is the second Norman J. Warren film on here. This is not by any means a masterpiece of a film, but you know what it is? It is fun. This is, to me, I call this movie Norman J. Warren's The Shining. It is about a haunted hotel. There is time travel. I'm not kidding. There's all kinds of crazy stuff in this film, and it has to be experienced. It's kind of a secondary one. Like, this is a much better one than like the other one that I probably would have put on here. But yeah, we're gonna go with Bloody New Year, because I enjoyed the hell out of this film. Next up is Blood Games. Blood Games stars, well, the girl that would become one of the most prominent stunt women in North America. This is where she got started. She started out as an actress. She ended up like, basically, you needed somebody to do stunt work on there. She did a lot of her own stunts. It came to the point where eventually in her career, she had to choose, did she want to act and be an decent actress, or did she want to become the stunt woman? And I think she made the right choice. But oh my God, this is a really good film. Well done. Again, I'm not telling you nothing. Like, I know there's going to be people that are going to come on. They're going to give you lists. They're going to give you the description of the film. They're going to break down the plot for you. They'll probably go into the features. I don't want to do that. I want this to be the most pure, best experience that you can have when you're watching, when you're getting these films. I want you to get these films home, get them in your hands, look at them, turn them over, check out the alternate artwork that's there. Look in the back, see what the features are. Be excited about this. That's what I want this here for you. I want this to be an experience. So I'm going to keep this as enigmatic, but hopefully as intriguing as possible. A Woman's Torment is probably up there with in my top 3 favorite films Vinegar Syndrome ever put out. Now, here's the thing that I have to say about this film right away. This has 2 versions of the film. There is an R-rated version, which is Roberta Findlay, the director's preferred cut of the film. This film also has an X-rated version as well, so like know that going in. The R-rated version does have the director's commentary on it. You can check out the X-rated one as well if you want to just kind of get an idea of what they did. Back in the day, when you were making a film that was that did have like an X rating, you would have to, because you wanted it to play not only in the adult theaters, but you wanted it to be able to play in regular theaters as well. So you had to have a story that was good enough so that you could cut out any adult sequences, or at least cut them down tremendously, and still have a solid story that would get people to pay their money to go into the theater and see it. A Woman's Torment is very much like Repulsion. The actress in this is much like the one in Greta. Remember when I mentioned earlier on about Nectarine of Terror? This is another one of these actresses that she only ever did one thing, much like the girl in Greta, only ever did one thing. This is it. And you kind of wish she'd done more, or even a documentary about her, because she's not there through the entire film. There are sequences in this film where you only see the back of the character's head, but not during big sequences, just certain scenes, like pickup shots. And that's Roberta Findlay, the director, with the wig on, because the actress walked out with one of the crew members and said, we should go. And she did. This is a fascinating film. It is a fantastically done film. And it got me, like, the features are incredible. Roberta Findlay's really great in commentary. There's other Roberta Findlay ones to check out here, by the way. We'll talk about her down the road. Now, we'll be doing, I know some of you are asking, well, why have I mentioned any more, like, kind of adulter titles? Well, adult titles, that's going to be on the Patreon channel, because it's NSFY. So expect one of these over there as well. And we're back to Angel. We have gone through 20 Vinegar Syndrome releases. Hopefully within that 20, you have found something, hopefully a few somethings, that have piqued your interest. Just to go over it quickly again, we have Angel, a kind of a thriller with an amazing cast of character actors that you will just love being in this world. And trust me. The Uninvited, a crazy, insane monster movie by Graydon Clark with actors that you wouldn't think would be in this movie, but they are. This is the best Graydon Clark movie that Vinegar Syndrome has put out, and it has a lot of things to like about it. It is cheesy, it is fun. It's not a masterpiece or anything like that, but it's a fun watch, especially with a group of people. The Mothers is a serious Santiago actioner with all the exploitation boxes ticked, tick, 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 that you're going to want, and just a little bit more. Serious Santiago's a master at doing these things, and you're going to want to check it out. Incubus, John Cassavetes and John Ireland. What else has to be said? Well, amazing camera work, great direction, and incredibly kind of uniquely crisp dialogue. But it's the camera work that steals the show, along with John Cassavetes, and he definitely lifts up the people around him who are fantastic actors already. The Collar, an incredible acting tour de force by Malcolm McDowell and Madeline Smith, with an ending that I can promise you will not see coming. Sudden Fury, a Canucksploitation film much in the vein of an Alfred Hitchcock thriller, with a definitely Canadian/European slant to it. This is the most Canadian film on the list, and it's one you're going to want to own. This is one of those films that you will watch, and you will be recommending to other people or taking it out for them to watch when they come over. Spookies is an incredible film especially if you're a connoisseur of the bad films like Trolls 2, like The Room, stuff like that. Then you got to get this. This also has the best features of any Vinegar Syndrome release that's out there. There are some amazing special features on Vinegar Syndrome releases, but this has 2 documentaries, not one, but 2 full feature-length documentaries you must see. Raw Force is pretty much an encapsulation of early Vinegar Syndrome titles, in that just the amount of insanity and fun that's on the screen, it's impossible to even calculate. Psycho Cop Returns proves disproves the fact that the original is always the superior one. Psycho Cop Returns is the superior sequel, and it is a a really, really good film. If you didn't figure out the AR, it's Adam Rifkin. Prey with Norman J. Warren is a really cool little title. Again, it's another one of these kind of more intimate films with not a lot of actors in it, but a lot of acting being done, and it's well done. Pets is a strange, unusual exploitation film that goes in some different directions. I'd say watch the trailer for Pets, and maybe this is one of the ones I say do a little bit like looking. Don't look at it at the end or anything like that, but to see what it is, to see if it's your kind of thing, because there is some unusualness to the movie Pets. Night Train to Terror is an insanely crazy anthology film with one of, I'm not sure if it's either the best or worst songs that you're going to hear, but I'll tell you one thing, you are not going to forget it, because everybody's got something to do, everybody but you. Malibu High is a film that does a bait and switch. You get the sexploitation, like sexy high school looking poster, and you get a film that is a dark drama with some sexual overtones, and it goes into some revenge territory as well. It's definitely a really cool film. Graduation is a great slasher, kind of an underrated one. I thought about putting Mad Men on here, but there's a Mad Men 4K, which I do recommend you pick up, by the way. But Graduation is a really good release, and if you're collecting slashers, this one does need to be in your collection. Demon Wind is, again, it's a fun film. It's one of those films that you're going to want to have a few people around, maybe have some drinks or whatever you're going to have, and enjoy this film right here, because Demon Wind's a lot of fun. Corruption of Chris Miller is a slasher mixed with, I don't want to say noirish, but definitely some different style of kind of dark thriller aspects to it. This is a very different film. Don't go in expecting an Argento film. Don't go in expecting a Martino film even. Go in expecting a really, really good time. Some people don't like the ending. There are two endings for this film, by the way. Both of them are on the disc. But it's really worth the ride. Candy Snatchers is a great film with some horrible people. And it's hard to believe that such horrible people could come out with such an amazing, not that people could be so amazingly watchable. Bloody New Year by Norman J. Warren. Again, it's another kind of like exploitation-y fun haunted house type one with some insane scenes that you got to check out, and I definitely recommend it. Blood Games is a great actioner that goes in some directions that you may not think. There's great special features on here, and there's some incredible stunt work from a girl that will become one of the prominent stunt women in the across the world. A Woman's Torment is a Repulsion style film done by Roberta Finley, which has an R-rated cut, which I do recommend, and also as an X-rated cut, which I recommend to some people, but not to everyone. But the film itself definitely deserves to be seen, and the actress is definitely enigmatic. And there you go. Hopefully that has given you a bit of an idea of what to look for during the Vinegar Syndrome sale, because a lot of people are going to go in there, they're going to be looking at the new stuff, they're going to look at the limited editions, and they're going to pass a lot of this stuff by. And a lot of this stuff that I'm showing you right now is some of the stuff that's going to be cheaper that you're going to want to get in there. Say you're getting some stuff to get it to a certain like price point, or get to basically, okay, I want to get these many films. I got some films, I want to get a couple more to put in my cart. I want to get to like the free shipping range, or somewhere, I'm not sure if it's free shipping, but lesser shipping, or I just want to get a bunch of really good titles. Any of these titles here are fantastic to check out. So anyway, my name is Aaron. Thank you for joining me again in another video in the Vinegar Syndrome Month, and I will see you soon right here in the Cult of Cinema.